So this is the On Cloudventure Peak. I have heard from many people that they're very comfortable, they're very versatile. I have completely worn out my On Cloudventures, so I decided to get some On Cloudventure Peaks and see how they work. This is very similar to the Cloudventure, except it's a lightweight version. This weighs in about 260 grams. So what we have is a upper, which is sort of a flexible nylon. It is water resistant. It's not waterproof, but it's water resistant. It doesn't feel like it's extremely tough. We'll see how it holds up. And then inside of that, you have this mesh layer. It's sort of a continuous sock style where the heel and the tongue are all one continuous padded mesh. Lower down in the toe, that padding goes away, so the padding is just in this vicinity. And the padding is very minimal. It feels like enough to be comfortable, but it is very minimal to get the lightweight. So between the two, between the sole and between the upper, you have this rubber layer that goes all the way around. It does provide some protection from puddles and kick protection. It's not extremely substantial, but it definitely will help a lot if you're kicking rocks. The upper on this is very light. The majority of the weight is in the sole. So you have a very substantial sole, only a 4 millimeter heel to toe drop. So it's reasonably gentle heel to toe drop, but you still do have these very substantial lugs, both on the back end and up on the front end. The rock board, or as On calls theirs, their speed board, does have somewhat of a unique design. It's split down the middle near the toe, so that gives some lateral flexibility. It's also, the speed board is fairly thin in the center, so that gives it a good bit of flexibility here in the center of the shoe, as well as flexibility in other dimensions. So this shoe is designed to be the race version of the Cloudventure. It is a good bit lighter, has less padding. I have heard people take this out on very long runs, not just races, but it's less padding, less rubber, and might not be as comfortable for extremely long runs. I'm used to running on trails, but using road running shoes much of the time. This feels like it's going to be what I want. It's a very sturdy shoe, but it has a lot of flexibility and it's very light for how protective and sturdy it is. Nice flexibility on this for slipping in, very comfortable. These are size 11.5, and they are maybe the tiniest bit more than I need, but I've got just enough room for a thicker pair of socks if I do want that. The biggest thing I'm noticing, besides just that they feel like normal running shoes, is that they're very light. There's a good bit of stretch and flexibility in this area, so I don't feel constricted. You can see my knuckle bone and my toes popping up there. So they feel comfortable, they feel secure, but I can still move my feet around, which I really like. A few details here. There are some more substantial tape areas here that do give this upper a little bit more structure than just this really thin material would be by itself. There is a nice little elastic strap here to tuck your laces into once they're tied. A few potential cons here. All of the logos aren't reflective on this shoe, which I did kind of like for safety running at night. Also, I have heard these laces can be a little bit slick. They can come undone, so we'll see how that works. Quick comparison here between the Cloudventure and the Cloudventure Peak. They are very similar. These are the same size shoe. So as you can see, the Cloudventure is mostly mesh upper as opposed to this water resistant nylon material. The Cloudventure also has a lot more padding around the ankle. Another big difference is their width in the heel. The Cloudventure Peak is a lot narrower of a heel base, especially down here in the rubber, the sole portion. So they're supposed to be similar. There are some pretty significant differences here. One of the big similarities is in the sole. So they both have these significant lugs. One thing I did notice here is these laces don't extend very far down the toe box, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make any adjustments in this region of how it fits. Now, I don't think I need to at the moment, but we'll see when we actually get out on the trail and make sure to see there's enough stability in this area that it doesn't need adjusting. Now I've just got to take them out on the trail and see how they work.